it is that time again. It's May. Yes, it's May 9th, so you can consider me late, but I think I'm right on time because May, I feel like, is heavy, is long, is tiring for me, and so I feel like this is a good point or a good time for me to check my calendar, my poetry calendar, and see what my motivational or connecting to like the emotions of May, what that poem is. And so, how's your May going? If you feel like you're struggling or you feel like you want to pivot or change kind of direction, you're not alone. um, but I'm wishing you well. I'm hoping that you hang in there. And let's check what May is together, the poem for May. All right, drum roll, please. All right, so this was April. This is my calendar. I should say, I guess I should do my spiel. My poetry book, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry, I published this July 2022. And this year, because I'm doing poetry calendar for this year, I decided to do snippets of my poem as a poetry calendar, and it's snippets of poems from my book. So if my book interests you, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry, it's about an introvert, myself, finding my voice and going over my high school years, college years, and just reflecting on life growing up in America and how I've held my voice in and how I realized it was time for me to like release it and transition to another stage where I'm embracing myself and embracing my voice. And in order to do that, I reflected through poetry. So if that interests you or you feel like you may be in a stage where you are holding maybe some parts of yourself back, you are not alone. I'm still learning and growing. But I knew I needed to start, and my poetry book was my start for the shift for myself. So if you're feeling a shift for yourself, I'm wishing you well on that journey. Maybe my poetry book will help, or maybe my poetry book will just be an inspiration. So you can check that out definitely. Again, it's Stay at Home Calls for Poetry. Or you can get the calendar. They are both on my website, or you can get the book on Amazon as well, Barnes and Noble, other ebook sites, and other places like Booktopia, I believe it's called, and stuff. But yeah, again, you can find those links on my website. Yeah, all right, drum roll, please. This was April. I unclip. We flip. Oh, nope. We just slide to reveal May. You're seeing before I do. All right, let's read it together. Are we going to confront the pain or double the death rate? Time is always ticking, but things feel more closed in now. Change needs to happen. So from the start, reading, are we going to confront the pain? I didn't know what direction it was going to. I forgot my own poem. I didn't know what direction it was going. And are we going to confront the pain, like the pain we feel or might be feeling? Like sometimes, I feel like this month, sometimes I've been feeling pained of not being able to embrace my creativity or my writing or my author business more because I'm working at a daycare Tuesday through Friday. And so I give Monday my time to focus on my writing or my author career. But it's hard to weave it in other days after 6 p.m. besides like Wednesday, and today's Thursday and Thursday, but not really Friday, not really the weekend like I thought I would, sometimes Sunday. So that was what immediately hit me. But the line says, are we going to confront the pain or double the death rate? So it makes me realize what this poem is and which poem this is. And so I also forgot to say, I made it like a little game. You can search and find the title in my book. So if you wanted to buy both, that would be cool. But yeah, it's reflecting on life and just like our world and the pain and the death rate that is rising and continues to rise in our world because of a lot of issues and a lot of things. And so there's that questioning. But then it continues. Time is always ticking, but things feel more closed in now. Change needs to happen. Like time is always ticking. Like I know people can say money is like a value in life. Love is a value in life, or important, or a key to something else. But also time. People say like the most invaluable thing, I believe is the statement, like, is time. Because time, and some people say time is really all we have, because each moment goes by is the time. And so we're here today, but tomorrow's not guaranteed. And so that's why some people say I'm gonna live like I'll die tomorrow, or I'm just gonna live the fullest right now, be myself, enjoy while I can, which is real and understandable. And I'm trying to get there. I'm definitely not there yet, but like, there are moments, and especially when like you hear the news or listen to the news or read when you're scrolling about the news, and you're just like, wow, like life is so short, or like, wow, things are so stressful, or wow, because of ridiculous things happening, is like, why don't I just do what I need to do and what makes me happy, because life could be gone like this, or things are crumbling, or things are changing so fast. It's like, I need to just enjoy, because who knows what things are going to look like next year. And so that is all true, but also scary, and so it's hard to think about it. And so it's like a spiraling thing. And then, but things feel more closed in now. And it's like, it's true. And that could still be true next month, next week, that you feel even more closed in. And that's not to say that pressure, but it's like to state this fact, and like, what are we going to do with it? Or what am I going to do with it? And it's like, try to keep going. Try to be myself and do what I want to do with the time I do have, because there's so many layers to this, because I want to focus more. I'm just going to ramble and tell you some things that have been on my mind. I want to focus more on my author and writing career, but I feel it's hard right now because I'm not making enough money to pay the bills, help with rent, help with groceries, unless I keep my daycare job. And it's like that balance is like, yes, this daycare job is nice, and yes, the income from the daycare job is nice, but also, what about my creativity? What about my passion? And so there's been a lot of reels that have this week that have felt like they're saying go for it, like they've just been right on time. And then for some reason, starting Saturday, and then I think to Wednesday, Bernie Mac has been been on my mind. And it's like, Bernie Mac to me, and maybe to some people, maybe not all, I don't even know if you watching know who Bernie Mac is, but is like still relevant today. But Bernie Mac passed away years ago, but he's still relevant. And so with that being said, it's like, and with like a lot of authors, some people didn't live to see their work, but that's not my point. My point is that do so much that's impactful in the time you are alive that you'll still be talked about even when you're gone. And so with Bernie Mac coming up in different ways, weekend into this week, that's what was on my mind. It's like, he did something with the time he had, and he was so impactful. Like, impactful comedian, impactful person, that he's still relevant. He still can be on someone's mind, and he passed away years ago. And so it's like, I want to put as much content, as much stories, as much things out as I can, because I want to stick with you even when I'm gone. And so that's just like, wow in itself, and heavy in itself, but also like understandable. And so it's just a lot to take in. a lot. And then the last line of the May poem, change needs to happen. And so to me, this is the layers about the death rate and the death toll in our world. That change needs to happen to stop this. But also then change needs to happen, like me thinking personally about like what's going on in my life or in my mind, and just my back and forth this month. Like, change does need to happen, but maybe it doesn't need to be drastic for me, but it could be slowly in the direction I want it to be, so that by next month or by July, I'm where I want to be, where the change is easier or where the transition is smoother. And so this poem to me has a lot of layers. For you, you may take it a completely different way, and I would love you to share that. I am so surprised at where this conversation went, but that's why this was the right time to share this poem. And also, usually when I'm doing like the reveal, I turn my phone the other way because I want to make it like a reel. And so I was also kind of like confused as like why I was more moved to record this like a YouTube video first and share it with you that way. But now I understand why, because I had a lot to say and this was an impactful poem. So if you would like to read the full poem, you can find it in my poetry book. I don't want to hold it again. I feel like I'm over promoting it. But as Amy McNee would say, he was inspired to write on Instagram. She's like, promote your art. Do it. Don't feel awkward or it's going to be cringy, and that's okay. It's your work. Be proud of it. And I am proud of it. And I do want more readers and people to be able to read it and connect with it. So, if you would like to find that poem, it is in my poetry book, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry by Desiree Moten. Or you could just like this video, comment what you thought of this snippet of the poem, and stay tuned for January, February, March, April, May, June. For June. Woo, let's take a deep breath. We're going to do 3. And one more. All right. I'm wishing us well. I'm wishing us strength. I'm wishing us rest. Time to pause the rest of this month and just more connections. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, just write your story, and take care.